Hello and welcome back to
You better keep the dog panting in there.
JOKAKAKA. I'm Jim.
I'm Sam.
And my dog Hella is in the room with us. She's very excited that Sam is here.
She's way too excited. She wants to murder me and push me out that window, Cruella DeVille's mother style.
So we are at JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, JoJoLands podcast. We're going to talk about the newest chapter, Chapter 21 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, the JoJoLands, which is called... Sam's holding in front of me. Howler Co. Impropriety Suspicions.
There you go. Where Jodio fights the drones that are haunting New Jersey.
Yeah. It's very topical. All right, so
hey, it's been New Jersey hasn't had a hot topic in like
it is
ages.
True. And we did have one of our state senators go on Fox News and said, "That's from the Iranian mothership. There's an Iranian mothership sending drones out."
You know, you could have said it work of an enemy stand, and it would have been like better.
Yeah. All right, so before we do that, I always want to give out a big shout out to all of the lovely Jokaks that we have supporting us on Patreon.
I'll get the dog.
Sorry, my dog is just rifling through present boxes right now.
You got her face right into a bag.
Sam's dealing with that. So while we're doing that, we are going to give a shout out to our patrons. This month we have Truffle, Gilbo, Odds, Gogo Gappy, Perpetually Angry, Tactical, Zebra, GJ, Ariane Blintz, Blueface, Illicit Pencil, Classic Andy, Nino Nen, Savet, Call Me K. I love the flow of
it does
having Classic Andy. I feel like I always need to pause for Classic Andy. All right, once again, thank you. If you want to get a shout out before every, if you want to ruin the flow and you're gonna come after Classic Andy, you can see
leave whatever you feel comfortable leaving.
Yeah, on our Patreon.com, which I believe is just patreon.com/JOKAKAKA. All right, that was enough fucking. Oops, I cursed in the first minute.
I would never.
No, we're gonna get suppressed by Google. Oh,
by the tube.
Oh, damn.
By Cobbler Tubers itself.
By Cobbler's Tubers. Shut the fuck up. All right.
Oh, wait, inside joke that only me and Jim would know.
All right, please, let's talk about JoJo, Sam.
Oh, yeah. JoJo has the Auto Jump cover this month. And
yes, it did.
We have an ugly orange, I guess a very carrot-colored, what are they called? November Rain?
Carrot, my favorite character from One Piece?
No.
My favorite future Straw Hat crew member?
Shut up. We already got two other potential members that are leagues above.
Carrot 2.
But yeah, we have Jodio under November Rain, and
he's doing a nice little pose. This is a good cover.
The way JoJoLands is spelled is like one of those like the way you describe it. There's neon like those letters or like neon signs that come up that you flicker, but they just spell out something.
Yeah, it's got like a. Oh my god, my dog is just rooting through all my presents. It's got kind of a what's the word? It's kind of like a dithering effect almost. If you're familiar with like the PS1 graphic trend that everyone loves to replicate in modern indie games, where it's instead of it being a horizontal dithering, it's a vertical dithering.
Yeah.
I think maybe I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong.
That like cyberpunk kind of like.
Yeah, it is interesting. I guess we haven't really seen. We've never seen this font used before for this logo.
Yeah, hell, I like it a lot. We've been saying for the past chapter, but like Rocky really loves the line stuff this time around. Also,
bonus points to anyone if you can name any of the other characters listed on this Ultra Jump cover.
No Gun, No Life is not on here anymore.
No one knows. It's very funny to me that no one knows.
I mean, when we went through the Ultra Jump I brought over from, we recognized only No Gun, No Life.
It just makes me really upset that I can't speak Japanese, and therefore there's an entire world of manga that I will just never have access to. It's just so much manga just does not get translated.
Yeah.
All right, that's stupid. Why are we talking about this? All right, these reckless folks are standing together, Sam. Mm-hmm. We got a nice little chapter cover, too, with everyone.
Everybody's fine.
Charming Man taking front and center.
Yeah.
And I have to admit, it took me a little minute before I realized that he was impersonating this guy. Like, I had to go reread the first page or two.
He's also the one that probably has the most personal stakes in this.
He definitely does, yeah. For him, there is like for real a mystery to solve.
Yeah. Rather
than like a money to obtain.
Yes. But yeah, we get, I guess, Charming Man gets to be this goblin man.
It's very funny. I really like his little like. he's just kind of enjoying what it's like to be a fucking C-suite executive. He just has a nice little scotch, probably. He's eating some delicious chocolate bonbons. And
he's bothered by his bitch wife.
Yeah, this is really fucking funny. I love this so much. So it's very interesting to me. I really loved this intro to the chapter. Mm-hmm. It's a very classic Heist thing where we're starting like...
The one in disguise is like in the middle of being disguised. You're not really sure what you're seeing.
Yeah, also the fact that the heist is already beginning. Like, yes. we get a flashback for the rest of the chapter.
Also, we just get like the Iraqi, like, oh, this is the thing I'm thinking about. Like, oh no, but I wanted go to a Chinese restaurant and eat my shark fin with Chinese mitten crab.
Okay, I wanted to look this up, but shark fin, I thought that shark fin soup was like illegal because of the way that it's created. Well, it's created. Well, the way that it's harvested is seen as very inhumane because they just
fish. Shark fin, the first thing is legal comes up. No, shark fin soup is not legal in the United States.
And we're in Hawaii, which is part of the United States, so I think this was either maybe it's in Japan, it's not, but like. I don't know. To me, this felt like... I wanted to look up the Chinese mitten crab because I was wondering if they were also like an illegally...
In the United States, only in Hawaii, Washington, Oregon, California, Guam, and the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands have banned the sale and possession of shark fins.
Interesting.
So,
which I guess makes the most sense. That's probably where they'd be the freshest. But yeah, so Hawaii, they should not be...
Hey,
so,
rich executives get to do whatever they want.
Can you look up the Chinese mitten crab? Look up to see if they're legal, because I wondered if it was supposed to be kind of like a comment on like how extravagant and like evil, because like shark fin soup is considered pretty like it's considered pretty
also
shitty.
Known as the Shanghai hairy crab.
Are they cute?
Not really. They're just crabs.
Are they like the crab?
Why is the Chinese mitten crab a problem? They steal bait from anglers, damage commercial fishing nets. They're menaces. Seems to be like they just fuck up everything.
Okay, maybe they taste really good.
They damage rice crops. They prey on fish eggs.
Just like bankers.
Yeah, so they're basically just huge asshole, like invasive species crabs.
Interesting. Okay, so Charming Man is in the disguise of our man. What's his name? Yadamoto?
There's a wanted poster for him too, for the mitten crab. But
I wonder if they're tasty.
Yeah, cute little claws though. I do like the little like white pincers they have.
They do have cute. Oh, that's probably why they're called that. Mitten.
Yes, I do like that.
What's this guy's name? Is it Yadamoto? I'm totally dropping the ball.
This is I always called him like old JoJo or Banker Joshu.
He is Banker Joshu. So yeah, he has a call with his wife. It's basically them trying to explain why he's not going to be around anymore. Like they're trying to create a situation.
I don't want to be around anymore.
Because we know the real banker guy is in fucking a coma right now.
In the back room of like a fashion store.
Yeah, he's in a big ass coma.
But he also says like, yeah, say the magic words, and like he has like struggled to say the magic words, the usual.
Because when I first saw the little crack thing, I forgot that was like a Charming Man thing, and I had a second where I was like, okay, we're in a flashback. Oh my fucking god, he is a rock human. And then I was like, oh wait, no, it's just Charming Man.
The pressure, he's cracking under the pressure. Mm-hmm. I also just think of like, again, what's it called? Too much shit on me. Like, I don't want to be around anymore.
That's basically what he's going through right now. He's wearing the equivalent of that sketch.
But her line was, "My nether regions pointed the other way, you bitch cat."
So I have no fucking idea if this is a reference to something.
Probably what something Rocky says to his wife.
So the joke here is that Charming Man thought like, oh, the magic words were just like a classic, like, oh, I love you, honey. But no, she's apparently a weird freak, and
she's a JoJo civilian.
Yeah, and I like that he is kind of crumbling under pressure.
I guess that's the way it works. Is he can break his disguise when he's like found out.
Oh, sorry, his name is Division Chief Yokohama.
I'm sure that won't be important.
I thought Yokohama was like an island. I don't know. But his name is Yokohama. I like that. I like when he's talking about himself. I don't know. There's something interesting to me about Charming Man, as in like, it seems like he has experience impersonating people, and it seems like he kind of does a bit to get into character.
I mean, he was Paco for a short while.
Yeah, and I think that that's probably something that he's done before. And I like that the way he's like talking about himself as Yokohama, he's like, oh, I'm a pretty excellent back employee, as it turns out. It's very funny to see him inhabit the role. And like, as you said, it's a very classic, like, this is like the character in disguise thing for a heist, but this takes it like a step further where he like literally is the guy. Like he looks just like him.
And like, yeah, he even had to come up with like, oh, I didn't even know there was a shooting there. I didn't even get stomach medicine. Like talking about the shooting and like, oh yeah, those are my relatives' kids of like the rest of the gang, which is very funny.
Yeah, it's very funny. So who we're missing here? We're missing
Paco.
Just Paco, right?
Yes.
Wait, no, we're missing one more, aren't we?
No, it's just Paco.
Okay, you're right.
Charming Man is there in disguise. But yeah, so I do like, oh yeah, I did a pretty good job there, guy. Don't ignore the fact that his wife was a weird sex freak.
He's kind of like proud of himself. I like the little bit where he explains that like the CEO of the bank specifically like reached out to him to collect on Howler's delinquent, whatever you want to call it, loan thing.
Yeah.
And so it's coming right from the top. It's just kind of confirming that like the stone has like all reaching powers. Like it can just make whatever need to happen. But yeah, so it seems like their plan was to change a security passcode so that they can deposit the funds from the sale or the reacquisition of the land into a bank account for our gang, for our squad. Do we have a name for them yet? Has there been a funny little fan name? I'm not on Twitter anymore.
Not yet. It's just been like the gang or like the heist. I don't know. I don't think there's been a really official name yet.
Because normally people come up with like a cute little name, like the gang from, or like Team Avatar. You know, remember like
not really yet. It's just like it's just the heist gang.
Yeah, I want a funny little
the crew
name.
Or whatever. Like I guess they haven't got like a Gappy-esque nickname yet. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, we kind of come back to what's it called, the boss and everything. They have the child with them too. And
they have Lulu-chan, yeah. So now we enter the flashback.
Now everybody's here too.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we have Lulu there. She gets some questioning in there, and like Usagi tries to be the bad cop. And he references Walking Dead.
Very interesting that he references Walking Dead and seemingly goes nowhere with it.
The zombie one, yeah. It just like him, his thoughts just trail off.
It is kind of funny that he says the zombie one. Because there like 5 Walking Dead shows now.
Yeah, there's
I'm sure they're all about
Walking
zombies.
Dead.
But
there's like the
Fear
one
the Walking Dead.
There's Fear the Walking Dead started as a prequel, then just time jumped to everything, so it's just like Walking
That's
Dead.
Awesome.
There's a Daryl Dixon Walking Dead. There's the Negan and the other lady Walking Dead.
Is the Daryl Dixon motorcycle show?
Yeah.
Is that related to the Walking Dead? No, what's not?
That's just Norman Reedus. That's just a Norman Reedus show.
That's not related to the Walking Dead.
And then there's Death Stranding.
Yeah, basically, Walking Death Stranding.
Basically said we're gonna crush you if you don't tell us what we need to know. And there's like ignore him, and then Jodio's like good cop, I guess. So
she only is drinking San Pellegrino, which is really funny to me. I guess that's what Jodio is handing her in a very nice looking glass bottle. But she's not really talking much. The rest of this section just becomes like Meryl May just kind of going...
Basically being like the lawyer or like one cop you watch interrogation videos to just like, if you don't tell us, you're gonna go to jail. You're 11 years old. You've done fraud.
So yeah, confirm that she is 11 years old.
Yeah, you have done fraud, tax evasion. Like you can get at least 10 years in prison or juvie, I guess.
Why? I'm trying to figure out the tax evasion thing. Like, what are they trying to pin her on for this? Like, I don't know if they're just trying to psych her out because she's like 11.
Just Howler stuff, maybe. I don't know.
But like, how can they connect an 11-year-old girl to Howler? You know what I mean? Like,
I'd be surprised, but you can get away with.
I mean, yeah, hire the right lawyer, I guess. But
also, just like letting her stay there is costing her $3,000 a day.
Well, in expenses because she's closing her shop so she's basically losing opportunity costs by keeping her shop closed.
But she also has like the guy on like life support like in the back as well.
So, yeah, which is costing $2,000 a day, which. That sounds about right, honestly.
Like you said, like she drinks like San Pellegrino, but like she also doesn't like mangoes and wants to feed her fatty marbled wagyu.
Wagyu, yeah. So, which also a funny little line from. I'm guessing this is from Meryl, but she says bleh, as in like saying that she doesn't like wagyu beef, which is kind of hilarious.
Fatty marbled wagyu,
because that would be like the probably the most expensive because. Fatty, like wagyu beef is extremely fatty, and marbled would mean it's even fattier. So that sounds like she is.
I mean, it looks fine. It looks good to me.
I mean, yeah, it looks delicious. I'm sure it's amazing. I mean, I had some in Japan, like a little tiny taste of it, because they have it everywhere. Well, it's probably Kobe, whatever. A similar thing, like Wagyu is like super high tier. So it's funny to me that Meryl doesn't like that, because you'd think that Meryl's like a woman of taste, but
she's trying to say she's also like not as picky as this child is as well.
I would say it's almost reverse. I'd say she is picky. If she doesn't like super high expensive meat. I don't know. This is like a stupid point.
Maybe she's not into the fat, like incredibly fatty piece of.
She's like, I have enough enough in my body already.
But yeah, like also the life support system they have the guy under is like what 2,000 a day.
Yeah, which sounds realistic as an American. As an American that has dealt with the hospital system, the medical system before, $2,000 a day for life support actually does sound realistic. Jesus. If not under like a low ball.
But also like, oh yeah, for doing this, I can get fired as a principal, and my husband would divorce me.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. This is kind of a funny scene for Meryl.
I guess like her stakes in this as well, instead of just she's not just being the boss in the shadow. Like, no, if I can get fucked as well.
There's definitely more to her though. The fact that she's got like such deep connections. Like, I think she's kind of bluffing here about this. Like, I don't know. Maybe she's just bitching. She's just kind of bitching about the situation she's put in.
Yeah. Also, this one panel of her like standing over,
hilarious.
Is like a Baki character.
She is like Polpo sized in this scene.
It's like it's literally like a Baki or like a Records of Ragnarok character just towering over just like any.
She looks like a fucking like cave troll from like Lord of the Rings. Like when Cave Troll grabs Frodo. Like that's the size that we're talking about.
The Hobbit, yeah. It's hilarious, but I also love every time they just bring up Haller. They have to draw like his face and like the special logo.
I like how it's written too. I wonder if that's from the actual like the raw of it.
He has his own font, which I do love. I love when everybody gets a custom font.
Howla. Well, he is American canonically.
I know, but it's
born in America.
It's very comic booky, where like a character can have like their own font,
their logo, their special,
their font.
I know what you're saying.
I love that. I love that little thing.
So basically, our big lady is just concerned that there has been any leaked information regarding any of the crew.
Any leaks? Do they know anything going on? Do they know the faces? And she's like, yeah, Bobby Jean is gone. You have a smartphone. Like, she's the only one that knows about them. But she's like, yeah, someone probably witnessed what happened in the hospital. So
I don't know if this is supposed to be my corrupt brain just keeps thinking of like it thinks of Wonder Review. Every time I'm just thinking, like, I know that there's like some guy hiding in the ceiling watching them. That's where my brain goes here. Is like I feel like there was probably another stand user that was watching them.
Well, and maybe someone also just could refer to, there's a million
just
witnesses.
A random person, yeah.
And like they ask any question, someone's like, yeah, he was going after this kid, like this 15-year-old or whatever.
Yeah, this is where Rocky's age is showing a bit, because like in 2020, presumably 2021, if this one is taking place still, if there was a shooting in like a hospital, everyone's phones would have been out.
We literally just had like a shooting the other week, and it's like literally everything now.
Yeah, there's so much surveillance footage everywhere. I know in hospitals, like, there wouldn't be surveillance footage.
And, like, I know like in the surveillance, their cover up was that like they covered up their faces because of what the Usagi stand.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm totally fine with that.
But they took it off. They turned it off because Usagi's like melting in that time frame.
Well, yeah, and it's only going to be for camera system. It's not going to cover a guy pulling out his phone.
They were low key. They were like bumping in the doctors and everything.
Yeah, and like look at them. They're so conspicuous.
As we'll get to these future, hidden figures.
Yeah.
In the chapter. But yeah, so but she goes, oh yeah, no need for you to worry about about somebody just spotting them. But yeah, also talk about the lava rock and everything. And which is like, she's like, oh yeah, I was only kind of just got a call, just told to get it, but like, I'm not like too familiar.
Yeah, it's weird though, because when he called her, it really seemed like he had a deep personal connection to her, like to Lulu. Yeah. When Howler called Lulu, it seemed like they had a really strong connection.
The fact that he trusted an 11-year-old with like a vital mission to get like, you didn't ask the agent, who with like the really offensive stand. No, they asked like the 11-year-old to go do it, but she told him anyway. But he went to his grave with that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, also, I believe this chapter also had the stand bio for their two stands, Lulu's and
did it?
But I could pull up. But yeah, you would go on then with the interrogation. I can find it.
Well, basically, foolishly, I would say, Meryl like goes over their plan with Lulu just right there. I know that Meryl was saying like we have to keep her here, but I mean this is kind of like Lulu is an extremely dangerous like agent of chaos here. If she could get away from them, she could easily begin her attack again. Like, sure, they know how to combat it now, but like, you know what I mean? Like, it would still be an issue. So it's funny that Meryl just doesn't care to explain like how the rock works, like explicitly explaining their plans. Like, they want to transfer that money to themselves.
Yes.
And I think it's just important that the fact that she's explaining the mechanism behind the stone, or the rock, whatever we want to call it, is just a weird choice. Unless it's kind of one of those things where it's like, oh, we're tipping our hand a little too much to get them to do something, which I don't think is what's happening here.
No.
So yeah, another thing too is like how that Meryl brings up, this is kind of good in terms of like our characters are pretty proactive and smart. Meryl even says like, we know that Howler was aware of the rock, so we know that he's going to, if he has any sort of lead at all, he's going to go after us.
Yeah.
And he has the resources. Clearly, he has like a network of people.
He has like literal like minions or like henchmen, like lieutenants, I guess. Feels like.
So Meryl explains, this is how the real world works. Whenever you corner a rich person, they will quite easily, quote unquote, use violence as currency. You could say that's their speciality. Even if it is first glance, they're just trying to get their money back, blah, blah, blah. Basically, just explaining that like rich people are evil in a way that is just deeper than just being like hoarding wealth. They're vindictive. They will use violence to get what they want. And I think this is pretty apt, knowing how these things work in the JoJo world.
Yes.
Everyone is just trying to overtake each other. What are you finding?
No, I did find the volume stand bios for Glory Days of Bags Groove, but I can read them whenever you want.
All right, let's finish talking about this scene first.
Yes.
And the last big thing is that Meryl gives basically a 7-day deadline.
Jim, we got another countdown.
No, we do not.
We got a countdown.
So I don't know why she's so like explicit about 7 days, but she mentioned it several times. Basically, they need to complete this plan in 7 days. It's just a deadline. It's just a ticking clock for plot tension.
We need that, I guess.
I can't imagine there being like any explicit like. It's not like in the Persona games where it's like, oh my god. Well, I should say Persona 5 because it's really. Like, oh my god, we have to get this done before the evil guy gets back to his office.
Before he leaks our nudes out to the public and ruins our futures.
that should be the thing. Like one of your Persona members is an OnlyFans.
That's essentially what happens in the Makoto done with the Yakuza guy. He's like, I took a picture of you in a club in front of all these drugs and alcohol.
I forgot about that.
I'm gonna leak these DMs in a couple days.
There should be an OnlyFans Persona team member, and then they're gonna leak their nudes, and then and she's like, I actually already leak my nudes every month on OnlyFans.
Damn.
Go to OnlyFans/RiseiKojikawa.com, whatever her name is.
Jesus. Risei.
And then she says, Senpai. I love Risei. Laura Bailey put so much of her soul into the Risei role. It's incredible.
I've never hated a navigator more.
But okay, we're not talking about Persona 4 anymore. All right. So I do like the last shot here, where Lulu is intimidated by them, and they also just all get up and leave.
You know what? I was like almost gonna be surprised if she like fell for one of them, where she did that typical child character thing of like.
Yeah, I guess Araki hasn't. I'm happy he didn't do that. Actually,
part 3.
I mean, like, now. I'm happy that he's not doing that now.
Yeah, he did it in part 8, too.
Yeah, he kind of did in part 8.
And it was very creepy.
So, okay, do you want to read your things now?
Yes, before we get to the Howler
Also,
part.
move your mic a little bit. Just make sure you're talking into your mic a little bit.
How dare you? All right.
Just trying to make sure that
dare you?
Our fans can hear us.
So, Bag's Groove is a stand ability that automatically tracks its target remotely. Its power is extremely weak, but once it makes contact and enters the human body, it destroys the tissues in sequence, starting from the lungs and moving to the heart.
Okay.
The cause of death appears to be nothing more than a disease. In this case,
disease.
Lulu had planted Bag Groove in the registry office's deed. So, it's just a disease. It felt like cancer more than anything.
That's really funny that, like, I've not seen the show House, but I feel like this would be something I was like, oh, her lungs are being eaten from a disease. And then he's like, actually, I'm the houseman.
Get into an MRI machine.
I'm actually a stand user.
The actor's British. The character himself is not British.
I know. All right, read the other one. Glory Days.
Glory Days is a gun carried by Agent Bobby Jean.
It is just a gun.
Is legally authorized, but Bobby Jean can control the speed at which it fires. While its trajectory is limited to a straight line, this allows it to be fired at a slower speed.
Wait, he cannot control the speed?
He can control the speed,
can.
but he can't curve the bullet. He can shoot it in a straight line only.
So it's boringer than we thought.
Yes.
It's just what I expected. It was going to be as the most boring idea.
It's a gun. The gun carried by Bobby Jean is called Glory Days, but the gun is legally authorized, so it is a legally registered gun. So it's not a stand.
It's not like Emperor.
It's not whole horse.
Yeah, Emperor can just go away.
And he can add attachments to at will. He just put the silencer on it. Do with that information whatever you please.
This feels like a half-baked idea. I feel like Araki let us down here.
Oh yeah, here's the Araki author note. I know I'm a little late to the party, but I'm currently obsessed with Sabrina Carpenter. What an icon.
I did see that. Incredible, man. All right, let's finish this up. We have to hurry, actually.
Yes.
Haller's
in the typical limo.
He's enjoying his, I believe his dashi, his weird dashi broth again. Yes. With one of his babes on his shoulder.
Yeah, but he gets to the swarm by the paparazzi or the news outlets.
I fucking love this. It's not even the news outlets. These are people that hate him.
Yeah,
these are protesters.
There's a couple of news guys there too, because he gets a camera and a microphone to his face as well.
Yeah. There's definitely news coverage, but the people storming his car are protesters.
Which
that
I really
hate him.
Do love where this imagine a CEO gets a controversy and people swarm him with newspaper and then starts cursing at them.
It's crazy because this doesn't really happen in real life.
It happens when they're going to the
hearing,
prison
going
or
to a
court.
hearing, yeah. But here he's just seemingly going.
Also, they're always
he's just traveling.
The old lady in the front holding the picture of their dead son.
Unless we're kind of missing something, the biggest tie to a real damages that he would have done is the connection that he has with, or the connection that his company has with weapons testing.
Yes.
And it seems like illegal what was it?
Munitions?
Yeah, what's the word for it? It seems like there was a chemical waste that was a result of the munitions creation
Factory
or testing.
Waste.
Yeah, that caused a lot of people to get sick, which is and die, presumably, which is a very big thing. But for them to for this many people to be protesting, there must be fucking damning evidence that this is real.
We got the lady with the dead son picture in the front row saying that he lost both his arms and legs with the weapons he made and suffered till he died.
So it seems like this is news that just broke.
But imagine a CEO having just shut up, you shitty old bag.
It's very fucking funny. I love how my new favorite character Key West shows up and is she just shows up and is hey, stop talking to these people.
Shut up. Rule number 1 is you don't talk.
So what seems like happened here.
Also, Mr. Haller has no comment after making a comment.
Yeah. What it seems like happened here, at least how I'm interpreting it, is that in order to cause the transfer, the whole government takeover, this scandal was revealed to the public at some the Rock revealed this horrible scandal, because there's no way, if this had happened before, that he would already be ready for this kind of thing. This is a surprise to him that there's people protesting him, that there's people making these. So
the Rock really kicked into gear.
Yeah, the Rock is causing his whole
it started
life to explode.
It triggered the small things were happening in the background, but now it's just explosion. But also he doesn't remember hiring the lawyer. This is very funny. He goes, "Who the heck even are you?" I'm a lawyer. You hired me.
Well, I think that's telling. I think that these people are opportunists. I think they probably weren't hired by him, and they're trying to. They're working with ulterior motives.
Or did they say that? Is his dad still alive, or is he running?
We don't know.
Okay, because
he is the owner, but we don't know if the dad is still alive and just
I can see
gave the company to him.
The dad hired them to clean up his mess, kind of stuff.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. And he seems pretty young, at least in terms of he seems immature. So I could see that his father being kind of the
he's the child that abuses the wells to party.
Yeah,
one kind of.
Whereas his actual his father's probably behind the scenes running things. I like that idea, actually.
Yeah.
Because he seems pretty reactive to this whole thing rather than like you would expect someone in his position to be a little more conniving and like, how am I going to get back? Where he's like on the back foot this whole chapter.
And he's kind of have that breakdown of like, wait, I am like my company's the one that gets the the water and everything. Like they should be grateful. Like the fact that they're like telling me to leave them. Like they suck. These fucking people are lowlives. He calls them. And then we see the most normal people in Hawaii. A lawyer that looks like a cop. The bald cop with Fury written on her boobs, and we have the most normal looking firefighter in Hawaii who looks like his design.
Getting Carne vibes from this guy.
I'm pretty sure that's what like 1920s, 1930s. It's very old. What old firefighters used to look like.
He has like a big like pea coat sort of thing, trench coat. So the characters that we've been introduced to are Key West, who's the lawyer, who she's dressed like a cowgirl. She's dressed like a cop cowgirl or something. There's Lam Shabang.
These are all locations from what I've heard.
And then there's Ningbo, which I've heard of that before. I think that's a city.
Yeah.
I've never heard of Lam Shabang before. I should have looked up Key West, obviously.
Yeah, that's the most obvious one that everybody knew right away. Yeah. Like, oh, these are all going to be locations.
It's funny, too, because my brain read K on her head because I was thinking of K Nijimura. So they do say that they are friends with Bobby Jean, and
they want to like avenge Bobby Jean because he was a hired agent as well, and that's why Haller also didn't really like know Bobby Jean because they don't tell the guy you're with or whatever when you talk to Lulu Shan.
Yeah,
maybe Lulu was like the one person he hired. I guess
that's what I'm so interested in because the whole like trap that was sprung was Lulu's stand. So. And Howler is definitely connected to Lulu. Also, we didn't mention this, but he goes through and says that like all of the Howlers before him have been named after a letter in the alphabet.
Yeah.
Which now I'm curious about this. I guess it's Italian. So he's saying Aka is his name, which is the Italian pronunciation for, I guess, the letter H.
Yeah.
I'm not Italian. I can't confirm that.
I'm Italian. I don't know that shit.
So that's interesting.
So. Also, like I said, they kind of go over like Bobby Jean's death as well, like the direction of like, okay, the way he got hit was like there was no real weapon or anything. It came down from like the head to the mouth, kind of like shot. Like it felt like it was water all around it. So it's probably a stand. I'm assuming.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool that they identify it was a stand.
So what do you think of their design so far? Of like their 3 designs.
I think they're very cool. I like them a lot.
She looks like a cop, though. I thought she was the cop.
Key West looks like a cop. I like them all. I think they're really interesting. I'm trying to figure out Shabang's hair.
Yeah.
So Shabang looks to be bald, has a tattoo of a bird on her forehead, but it looks like she has a mullet as well.
Is Key West, like, you don't know if they're a guy or a girl yet.
Key West seems like a woman to me.
I think it's a woman, but...
She looks like she has a feminine figure.
Yeah, I
guess it could be androgynous.
I think I see boobs on some panel, but hey, who knows? And then, yeah, we have the firefighter. I do kind of like he's simplistic, other than, like, the face is very horrifying, but I kind of love it. Like, he didn't have to do what these two in match up.
Yeah, I like that they're all talking. There's not, like...
He's not the quiet... He's not Carne who doesn't
It seems like he would have been a Carne type, where he's just not talking, he's kind of a creep, but we see a couple shots of him from the side, and he looks a little more, like, normal. Human. Yeah, he looks a little more...
And, like, the visor from the helmet kind of does, like, the, I guess, like, kind of helmet from, like, a warrior kind of style, where it goes, like, into the nose.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, it kind of makes him look weird. But yeah, Haller says, like, do you know Lulu Chan? You gotta find her because she wasn't found. She's missing. And so basically he said, yeah, you gotta find her. Go avenge, your friend and everything. And, protect Aka. And we kind of get a little tease of, what's her name? Shabang Stan.
So, yeah, she is a tamed nematode.
I always think of SpongeBob, but I think of the nematodes.
So yeah, nematodes are actually pretty bad in terms of the SpongeBob episode kind of explains how they're invasive and
everything.
Yeah, they can be pretty bad if you're trying to like cultivate plants and grow things.
I guess very similar to like Bobby Jean's, that her stand like kind of applies to something she's wearing or has. Like a physical object, I guess.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So hers, like the glasses, it was like a tracking kind of stand. So she's not a combat stand user, which is I find very interesting as well.
Unless she makes like a bodysuit of nematodes.
The nematode, oh, that'd be so. Or just swarms, more microorganisms or something like that.
Honestly, yeah, nematodes are not good to get in your body. So
like more invasive species, like Because even when we talked about the crabs that she wanted, they're also invasive species from what I read. Only thing that wasn't invasive species are fatty Wagyu beef. And shark fins were also like illegal as well.
Yeah,
we're getting a lot of illegal and like invasive species stuff.
To me, it makes sense that he's like a rich. The shark fin thing makes a rich people indulgence connection. So
we got our three enemies, I guess, for the next arcs coming up. But I'm gonna assume they'll be working together because like one's a trip, or maybe to pair up like the police with like with one of them. Because like I'm gonna guess the firefighter. I want he's a firefighter. Does he have fire power or water powers or something to combat Jodio? Because he also has a water-based stand. Like, I'm wondering what they're going to do with a firefighter. But
so basically, the whole point of the nematodes, which we don't even know if it's a stand. I mean, obviously, it probably is. But
it's very much like I'm thinking like what's the rods?
Well, the rods technically weren't stand.
I know, but there's something like that where I used to control it.
What's called high flying? Flying free, free flying, sky high. Yeah, technically,
but it'd be like that.
Technically, the rods were not part of the stand.
I'm around
all.
Water. I just draw all the nematodes and kind of just hid them in myself. And my tattoo isn't a tattoo; it's just a swarm of nematodes just taking the form of a tattoo.
You might be right, actually.
It'd be very funny if that was the case.
This is a really interesting design from Araki. I feel like I can't really connect a character that he's done before to this one.
Yeah. You don't really see like super like bald carrot. They're not even bald. It has like the weird like mullet, but like you don't have the top hat. The mullet.
Yeah, you don't really. Yeah, Rocky doesn't always really do bald hair. Women very often.
I don't think I can't think of any. Maybe it was a background character in part 6.
Probably they're probably.
But like yeah,
it must have been.
I can't think.
Foo Fighters is kind of bald in the shape of her head.
She could, if she wanted to. She probably could just like remove the hair. She gave herself bigger boobs. Why couldn't she give her more hair?
It's true. She did, or less hair.
Give her a chug and she can do whatever she needs.
The stand, the nematode stand, unnamed nematode stand, uses or what she's doing here is she's basically like tracking fear. That's the whole point. Like they say that it's used to track those who are afraid.
Yeah, and they said she's purposely stuck those to her sunglasses and raising them as pets. So yeah, the nematodes are like that. But they basically say, like, this is, I guess, the thing Araki researched recently about, like, they're fungi as well. Like,
they're similar to fungi.
Yeah. But, like, the ocean
That's really
fungi.
Interesting.
But she can command them. She says, come gather. And, like, they make a map of, like, scents and everything. So that's how she's going to track them. And they have one person they recognize because they had off of, I think a message just sent from like Bobby Jean's phone, and that was like or saying that he looked up was like Paco, which is military Paco, which is very funny because he didn't look anything like this anymore.
I know, it's very funny. I love seeing him in fatigues. So yeah, Bobby's final ripple was
his search history.
doing a Google search. I really like the direction that we're going here. It's very cool. I did want to look something up.
I'm guessing Bobby's gonna have to fight because they all seem to be going. So if Paco has to do like a 1v3 or like end up being a 2v3, it'd be very fun to see. Because one's a cop and she has a gun on her, so she just has the power of gun and nematodes. And it'd be very cool if she also put nematodes on the bullets and everything.
That would be really cool.
So that would just be a combination of Lulu's stuff, but she attached it to a gun. But I'm interested to see what the firefighter does. Cause I can see him, like I said, him being a Jodio matchup with if it both have water stands to put out fires or something like that.
I really do want to revisit what this fucking line that Key West says, where she says that nematodes are right next to fungi on the biological tree. That's just not true at all. She just says
for some reason they can sniff the scent out of stress in living creature, which I don't know if that's true.
Well, no, first off, they're not like fungi. They're
like worms from SpongeBob.
They're in the animal kingdom. They're not in the fungus kingdom. Like they're creatures. They're organisms. They're not. Well, I guess fungus is an organism, but you know what I mean. Like,
so yeah, nematodes specifically can smell stress by detecting chemical cues in their environment. But I don't know if I guess they have a super smell because they could track Paco from like miles away. Maybe I don't know.
They are pretty creepy. I like that. I like that little nugget of realism that Araki put in. Of they are
He's like,
tracking fear.
Rods may not have been real, but these guys, I'm pretty sure, are real. I watched SpongeBob's that are Rocky.
He loves SpongeBob.
But,
Nematode trapping fungi, NFT or NTF.
NFT.
Are a group of carnivorous fungi that trap and consume nematodes. So there are nematode. There is a fungus that goes after nematodes, but it's a fungus. It's not a nematode. All right, I don't care about this anymore. Don't look up nematodes. They're really fucking gross. Also called roundworms.
Okay, so Lulu-chan, do you think she's just staying at?
It seems like it. It seems like she's just locked there.
She's locked there. She's not okay. She's not gonna pop up on with them at any point.
I mean, her stand is super long range, so
get her like her stand to fight the nematodes off inside somebody. They have a nematodes versus Bags Grooves inside. I
feel like they'd be so big.
Usagi's like, I'm fucking dying again.
She gets nematodes in your throat. But that sounds awful.
This has been like one of my favorite chapters. I love being introduced, like a chapter basically dedicated, like half of it to like new enemies, and like I do like they're all together. Like you see them talk to each other like this. Like you don't really get that like with the Hitman team in part 5. Really, like we got like one flashback, and like the anime gave us like anime exclusive time them together.
Yeah. So
I kind of like we have a group of 3 weirdos, and they're like hanging out, and I do love to see that a lot.
Yeah, it's I really love these chapters that aren't just a fight, that are progressing the plot. I'm kind of happy at how short the Bobby Jean fight was.
Yes, and I do like, okay, here's what our good guys are up to and have to do, and here's where our bad guys are and what they're doing.
Yeah.
We're the 2 sides, and they're like,
it's real fun to see like how both sides are going.
And I'm really thinking that like Howler isn't going to be the last boss of this. I feel like he might be like a halfway point.
He seems
villain.
too stupid. Like he seems like he's too immature.
I heard some people say, oh, maybe he's one of those characters where he is the main villain, but he's gonna lose everything, and then him building himself back up, kind of like what Kira did, where he got like his ass beat at the halfway point and then had to rebuild himself back up.
I do like that idea because we know he has a stand, which means
we saw it.
He can do anything.
Yes.
The fact that he has a stand means that he can do fucking anything.
As we saw.
He could evolve his stand. He could become a god. Like
Rocky can literally change it at
Rocky could change at any point. But yeah.
Oh, your dog is very cute right now.
She's being adorable. She's trying so hard to get attention.
But anything else and any other thoughts you have for this chapter? I said I really like this chapter a lot.
No, it was a great one. I really enjoyed it. I just
if we're gonna get Jump Fiesta, I think
Jump Festa is how it's happened. I think, or it's happening.
Did it happen? I think it is happening, but I think they announced the first release of Part 7 volumes.
That's cool.
And the cover and gonna be in May. I think the first volume's releasing, which I'm still mad they like changed those hardcover designs up.
Yeah, it's a shame. They were really cool, but
I will get Part 7 manga just because I want to own that stuff.
That would be really cool to own, actually.
But and then people still have that hopium for a Steel Ball Run, but
yeah, they can keep hoping.
So I guess
apparently it's like I think X-Force just put a video out recently. Apparently this is like the longest that we've gone without a JoJo announcement, which crazy to me because I could have sworn that the Part 6 drought was like longer.
I guess that musical was like the thing. I guess maybe. But there is a new, like right around the like Easter, they're doing another one of those fucking JoJo events, and it's like basically it's a celebration of the JoJo animation. So basically they're gonna announce Part 7. Here's your
probably.
Johnny JPEG is gonna haunt you for like 2 more years after.
The Jolene JPEG.
I hate that. That thing haunts me still. Like every time I get like PTSD flashbacks when I see that JPEG because they still use it. They still fucking...
The key art, yeah, the first key art.
I'm like, there's so much... Apparently there was like a Chinese mobile game that had like a crossover with like Part 6, like just Jolene, like Jotaro FF.
That's very weird.
Hermes.
So yeah, apparently we can expect a Part 7 announcement as per the prophet X-Force.
Pray be.
X-Force Stradamus. Speaking of which, I haven't read Chainsaw Man in like a month, so don't say anything.
So good.
All right, so... we're going to talk about root beer now. And by that, I mean we're just going to enter a section where we don't talk about JoJo.
We can't talk about Metaphor.
Can't talk about Metaphor.
I beat it. Did you finally beat it?
Yeah, I beat it.
All right.
I messaged the chat.
That's right. You did beat it. It's been a busy December, Jim.
Yeah.
What have you been doing then? It's not been Metaphor or JoJo related.
Just been Balatro, honestly.
Did you watch didn't there a new Digital Circus come out?
Yes, there was a brand new Digital Circus. I did watch it. I loved it.
I need to watch this 3 and 4. So.
Yes, 3 I think is probably the weakest. But it's not bad.
If you want to see my first time watching the first 2 episodes, our totally on-time Halloween episode is me watching them for the first time, as well as the Uzumaki for episode 1.
Yeah, we watched episode 1.
That's it.
No, the episode 4 of Digital Circus was highlighting Gangle, who is the little like smiling, crying mask character.
Yeah, the tragedy and comedy mask.
Yes, and I think the VA killed it. Like, I don't know who she is, who her voice actress is.
There was like a picture I saw from a convention where like all the voice actors from Digital Circus were just there together.
Oh, that's cute.
I think most of them, I think.
They're amazing. Like, I know, I love Digital Circus. I think it's like incredible how an animation forward it is for like a web series, and like it's kind of unprecedented with how much money and attention and praise it's getting. But I just want to like shout out how great the voice acting is as well. The story is like, it comes and goes. Like I like it. Sometimes it's a little too like hacky, I would say, with like what it's trying to hit. But most of the time I'm like, I really resonate with this.
About that a lot too, where like, you know, there's some characters I like a lot in that one, and the characters I hate, the bunny guy.
The rabbit jacks.
But I love like the background, like the little crocodile guys, like the background gags of them.
Yes, I love Gummy Goo and his little crocodile guys. So in the newest episode, it was set in like a sort of McDonald's.
Yes, I saw some clips or pictures from it. So, and
I feel like, so I've never worked in a fast food restaurant before. I've never had that job, but
we were retail boys.
Yeah, I was
a food industry boys.
I was a retail girly. But this episode gave me like so much pathos of what it must be like to work a shift, like as a shift job. What's the word? As like just a shift worker at a restaurant like that, fast food restaurant, and sort of like how miserable that experience must be. And it really felt like it came from a very, very earnest place, and I think that's extremely valuable to see in this kind of media. And there's kind of a little throwaway gag too, where they talk about like oh, you can't like spend your time getting better at your art and starting your online webcomic. You have to go to McDonald's and work and make a living. And it's like, it's very kind of a silly joke, but like it does highlight that there are a lot of people out there who are trying to deal with trying to foster their passions, but they're forced to work in these like soul crushing jobs. And I like how they did that in this little funny cartoon show.
Yeah. I mean,
about Pomni.
You don't have to work in food industry to really get that, because you work in retail at this time of the year,
Definitely.
December, it like really soul crushed me. I mean, working through the pandemic was like soul crushing for me at that job.
Yeah.
And thank God I'm like out of that shit.
I was very happy to not be working that sort of job then, but I did work. It's one of those things, like I really think everyone should work a retail job.
Oh yeah, work retail or food, and you kind of understand like a lot of the bullshit that a lot of people, like every van goes to.
Yeah, I think you gain a lot of like humanity points by doing that.
Yeah, like I understand now, like since I work, like, I always put the shopping cart back now.
Oh yeah, there's just certain things that, yeah, you just always do. But yeah, like I guess that'll be my Rupert talk this week.
All right.
That and Balatro. I'm just hooked on that dumb game.
Okay, 2 things. I watched the series finale of What We Do in the Shadows. It came out.
Series finale. It's over.
Yeah.
I gotta finish it.
Season was better than the last season. I still enjoyed it. You know, I feel like the first 2 seasons were like peak. And like, you know, and like it hadn't really got to that peak, but I still really enjoyed it a lot, and I think it still ended pretty good. I wasn't like mad or anything.
That's good.
Some fun episodes in there. I still Matt Berry still my goat. Basically, the object of this series of this last season was to get Matt Berry to like throughout the season just say that succulent Chinese meal speech throughout the season, just saying lines from there, just in his typical Matt Berry way. But I love Matt
Berry.
He's great. He's a goat. So I recommend that, and then. Marvel Rivals I've been playing a lot of.
I played a little bit of that. It's pretty fun.
Which I like a lot. I like play a lot of Penny Parker, and I enjoy it a lot. I think a lot of the visuals are like pretty good. Some of the designs can be over designed, but I still enjoy playing it a lot. I get mad at it still. Healers don't heal.
Yeah, that's the thing where like
DPS.
I enjoy playing it, but if I hit the point where I get upset, then I just don't want to engage with
I have been playing more with friends recently, which has been a lot more enjoying to do.
Yeah, now that I've beaten Metaphor, I can actually go into it. I was trying to get... Well, now, honestly, it's a lie.
We have all the time in the world now after being done with Metaphor.
It's a lie, though, because all I've been doing lately is playing Balatro. Balatro is such a good, like, I need to unwind kind of game.
I just watched a little bit of Vinny Vinesauce had, like, a mod for Balatro, like a Vinesauce mod, and, like, basically he had custom Jokers made from, like, memes and everything.
That's awesome.
But the voice from Roach, which is, like, a new character in Final Fantasy VII Remake, who's a fan of Vinny, who did, like, cameo voice up. He actually voiced like the Joker And it's amazing. Like, he actually got his voice actor to voice, like, the dialogue when you actually got it to activate.
That's amazing.
But I want to get back to play Belacher, but I've been, like... I don't know. Those are the two things that I've made... Oh, I'm watching Dan, but I have one episode left, so I can't really give my thoughts on the season yet. But I hear, like, they announced the second season, which is just the second core of the season coming out in, like, May. So, I've been enjoying a lot.
All right, we need to take a quick break. We'll be back.
Anyway.
All right, so Dan to Dan...
Trying to think.
Is it over? Is it over?
The first core is over. It's his second season, but it's really just second core because up here it just ends on like a cliffhanger because it's just the second core coming next year. But I'm trying to think of anything else. That's the main two things I literally watched.
Oh, I have one other one I want to talk about. I've been watching a lot of The Simpsons lately. I've been going through my rewatch of everything. I actually technically started from season 3, so I'm going through like the golden age. Mm-hmm. There's another podcast I listen to as I'm going through too, which is kind of fun because
Talking Simpsons.
It is Talking Simpsons, yeah. And I'm going through that as well. It's fun to kind of get a lot of like a lot of like back behind the scenes, and also like they bring up like relevant stuff. But yeah, so I'm just very Simpsons pilled right now. So if I make any Simpsons references, it's probably because of that.
I guess there's one random thing because like I at work, I listen to, like, I have a 10-hour shift, so I, like, listen to a lot of podcasts, and I basically caught up to everything. I get a new one that I have to, like, find a new one after I catch up on that one. Mm-hmm. I've been listening to, like, a freaking Kitchen Nightmares podcast, but, because it's a podcast made from people, like, that did, like, 2 wrestling podcasts I listened to. Uh-huh. I think it's called It's Raw, the Kitchen Nightmares one, but they did, like, 2 wrestling podcasts I like, called, like, How To Wrestling and AE podcast, so, like, I've been listening to the Kitchen Nightmare one. It's been, like, hilarious to see, like, talking about how terrible, the reality TV made up stuff is, and, like, it's funny because they play, like, some clips, and you see the horrible sound effects they put in there, like, they get over, like, oh, this guy's a freaking idiot. So here's this like clown horn or clown music.
It's very stupid. I hate reality TV.
It's bad, but Kitchen Nightmares I watched as a kid growing up. So like
I did too, actually. Well, I watched more of the Hell's Kitchen, actually. I liked Hell's Kitchen a lot.
I always liked the Kitchen Nightmares and shows like that. So like I watched those like other ones, like what's it called? Oh, Restaurant Impossible. Bar Rescue. Bar Rescue was always one that be on the TV on the background at work on the break room.
Yeah, Bar Rescue, somewhere at the end of time, Bar Rescue is always going to be playing somewhere.
But I always find it interesting, like at the end they do like, oh, here's the, are they still open today kind of thing. I don't know, that's something I'm interested in because like, apparently people like write down, like they keep up with like, every restaurant that was in there and like what their status is now, which I always find that interesting. And like, they also talk about the UK, the original like Kitchen Nightmares, and like how like different it is. Mm-hmm. But no, I guess I've been getting into it now for podcast wise.
Well, that's very exciting, Sam.
I need some stuff when you get caught up. It's like the hardest thing to find something new to listen to, Jim.
No, I know. You should listen to. There's an improv podcast called Hey Riddle Riddle.
I've heard about that.
That I got. That's what I did when I had like a really menial job that I just had to listen to podcasts all day. I went through like years of Hey Riddle Riddle, and they're so funny. Especially JPC, the one guy on that podcast, is one of the funniest people on the internet. I love him so much.
I just listened to Comedy Bang Bang. Had like a 2-3 hour episode. Like I re-listened to some old podcasts that I really love episodes of. I listen to like Deadlock and like a lot of the stuff I just go back and just listen to, and I have a great time.
Yeah, like the Joe Rogan Experience. Like
God, my brain could not handle that information. It'd be melted. My brain would melt to look like his head.
All right. Can we end this?
Yeah, we can end it. I'll plug it up. Thank God the plugs thing is a lot shorter.
What are you plugging up this week?
There's nothing really happening to plug. The shark fin soup. I don't know.
Yeah, we're plugging all the holes in those poor shark fins. The finless sharks out there.
All right. Thank you all for listening. If you liked the episode, please leave a like, review, subscribe. All those stupid little YouTube,
the ritual
stuff. Again, if you want to get your name shouted out, you can leave anything you like on the Patreon. You can follow. Well, Jim doesn't usually use the Twitter anymore, but I follow me on Twitter or Blue Sky or whatever. I think that's everything.
Unless you have anything else
you need to plug then if you want to.
No.
All right. And with that, we will see you next time.
Goodbye.